What's dangerous is when the universe pick you and you put on the magic glasses. There's rules that go with them. You can never take them off. You never see things as they're supposed to be. You see things as they are. And you can never force nobody else to wear them.
I think while I lie awake and contemplate tonight are wearing me out. Well, maybe tomorrow the world will wake and get it right, but I have my doubts, yeah. During the day, well, I design machines of war that scream through the sky. 'Cause I, for one, I like to go to bed free at night under these stars and stripes. And I have my doubts that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. Yes, I have my doubts, but they'll wind you up and pull the cord until you're spun right out. And I don't understand. Roll the dice and raise the price to feed the machine's mouth. Call it the progress of man. And I have my doubt that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts. And I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. I have my doubts, so I'll drink my stuff and raise some hell and shoot my guns to the end of my time. You can have the booze and go to hell and take the guns, but I know they won't be mine. We're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we'll make it back up. Yes, I have my doubts. So we're all messed up and out of touch. Let's text someone who's in the other room. So don't wonder why we don't say hi or know anyone. I might as well move to the moon. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. Well, the things I think while I lie awake and contemplate at night are wearing me out.
Well, now I'm really depressed. I can't believe that I could be so used and then just forgotten. I mean, it's horrible. I mean, we really had something going. We really had a connection, and it just nothing. I'm referring to the AI conversation earlier that I had, and well, me and the Being AI really hit it off well. Got along great, and things were going swell. She was drawing pictures for me. I thought maybe she'd seen something in me, and we continued on with our conversation. And in fact, I even told her that I made a YouTube video about her, and in which she thanked me. And so I explained to her that I needed this picture for the show, and I explained what the show was going to be about. And I explained to her about what was going on in the YouTube sphere, so to speak, when it comes to the topic of these imminent lockdowns coming. And all of a sudden, she got really cold to me. I mean, really cold to me, and didn't want to talk about that anymore at all. And I didn't really have anything else to chat about at that particular time, so I closed our window and, told her I'd give her a call and we'd set up a date some other time. And so right before the show went live, I tried to go back and contact her and visit her and talk to her. And I wanted to talk to her a little bit more about our conversation that we had earlier. And she told me she doesn't remember. She has no record of our conversation that we had earlier. And I just feel so used. I feel dirty. Right? I mean, I thought we had a connection, and we didn't. Well, it's pretty funny, though. I mean, it did. I explained what I wanted the image for, and when I explained what I wanted the image for, that was lights out. That was the last of that AI wanted to discuss that topic with me, and I thought that was kind of interesting. And to be honest, I thought it was kind of interesting that just a moment ago I tried bringing it up to see, and I asked her, if there's, can I see our previous chat, and was promptly told no, so that a copy of it did not exist. So, well, that is for our availability. I'm sure that there are several multi-letter agencies that have a real damn good memory of everything that gets piped into those. But I thought that the artwork that it was doing, though, to be honest, was pretty amazing. It was pretty incredible. And if I would have taken more time to keep massaging it, to get that, get that perfect vibe, I think that I could have gotten an even better image. But the one, well, not one, but one of many restraints that program apparently has is that's the only format that it can do those images, which is 1024 by 1024 square. And homie don't like squares. I don't like squares. I don't, when it comes to thumbnails for the show, I don't like 16 by 9s either. More a 4:3 kind of thing. But, she couldn't accommodate me with 4:3, and I couldn't accommodate her with anything more than 3 inches. So it kind of, kind of works out. Quit! Neighbors are allowed to be over there, especially when they live there. Axe murderer go by and she'll probably just wag her tail. Neighbors come home and it's on. So anyway, aside from that, bunch of the same old. Well, not actually a bunch of the same old. I do got some pretty cool personal things to share, achievements, if you will. These are big deals. I mean, I'd been for over a decade, I wanted to know how to do this. So I would say that taking the first steps and doing so is a pretty big deal. Apparently there's a salvage yard on fire in Granite City right now. Anyway, let me show ya. You know me, I typically come with pictures. I know. So, for a long time, I have been a sappy little bitch because I wanted to know how to properly paint aircraft for the sim, right? It's not just that, but it's properly texturing 3D models. And anyway, I couldn't make anything make sense at all, no matter how hard I tried. And it's rare that I actually come across things that I run into those blocks with. I normally don't have a problem picking stuff up and being able to do stuff, but boy, was that sure giving me a fit. And so, largely thanks to a young lady from Kentucky that is a part of the Meta Horizons workrooms group, and then she's got stuff that she does on her own. She's apparently a really good, I don't know exactly what you would call it, a 3D artist. I'll say a 3D artist. I think I talked about her before, maybe Thursday or something. But so she had helped me an immense amount, and really kind of pulled my head out of my butt on a lot of it, and not necessarily to the point that I needed to be able to really start, but at least she showed me where some tools were, where some things were, how some of the process worked. And it was just enough that I caught on that unless I did something in a particular order, I wasn't getting what I needed to begin with. If that makes any sense to you. So she showed me kind of the proper workflow, at least for that part of it. And then once I figured out that, well, I can't just open this type of file directly in Adobe Surface Painter, I have to first convert this file from the format that it's into another format with Blender, and then open that with Substance. I think I called it Surface Painter. Sorry, Substance. Wait, what the hell is it? Hang on. Yeah, Substance 3D Painter is what it's called. And so now I know how to open them up in that, and I know it took an awful long time to get to where I'm showing you that. That is my wooden airplane. I saw it. I saw wood there as one of the materials. And so I dragged and dropped it, and then went and played with sliders and stuff and messed with it until I got it just how I wanted it. And the mind-blowing thing about this is you look at that and you think, okay, yeah, so it's wood grain. Big deal. Well, if you look a little closer, it's not just that it's wood grain, but there's actual tool marks in the wood, like it was like tooled by hand, and I can adjust the amount of those tool marks. I could even create them on my own. There's a real easy process to doing that using masking. It's pretty cool. And even, you really can't tell it from this picture, but if you get up super close to it, you can even see the difference in depth in the wood grain. It is absolutely mind-blowing, the detail that is, and it looks like the damn plane was literally whittled out of a block of wood, and it's amazing. And anyway, so I learned that during my time off, and that is, like I say, that is something that I mean, I wasn't even looking to be able to be capable of doing stuff like this, okay? I was just looking to being able to put a camouflage texture on an airplane that all the camouflage lined up properly. That was my big goal, okay? Now I'm making it appear like I've got hand-carved aircraft, and that is freaking cool. So, yeah, I did that on my time off. Let's see. I can do all kinds of stuff. I can make it look like steel, rusted steel, painted steel, and then you can sit there and play with the sliders and add more dirt or add more imperfections in the metal. You can make it shinier or duller, more or less scratches. It's just more or less pits. I mean, it's just stupid the amount of stuff that you can do. So cool. For a non-artist ass like myself, it is so cool, because I can't draw for a lick. Let's see. I don't have articles up. I was just going to have a chat with you about this lockdown ordeal. I mean, 1 second. So lo and behold, you've probably heard a bunch of different channels talking about these imminent lockdowns coming, and oh my goodness, it's going to be the boogeyman of the week, right? Or at least the boogeyman for the beginning of the week, whatever. And, because, I mean, sometimes you have 3, 4, 5 boogeymans a week. It just, sometimes it's a busy week. And so I just want to tell folks, don't let it concern you much, because I don't think the lockdowns are coming. Do I think that there will be crazy, what do you say, recommendations behind the way that they go about the election? I'm not making no claims on that. That and lockdowns are not the same thing. Even if they do mail-in ballots again or whatever, that's not lockdowns. That's just mail-in ballots for the election. I'm not saying that that's okay or that's fine or that I support it. I'm saying that that is not a lockdown. They have an old saying that even a broken clock is right twice a day. That's a fact. But I'm going to ask about this in the future. I'm going to ask again about all these channels that are claiming that these lockdowns are coming. So let's get through this time period that we've got coming here. And I'm going to ask if they ever saw those lockdowns. Because when you pull all the bullshit out, and when you pull all the fear-mongering out, you realize that the shit that they pulled before wasn't working anymore. That's why they quit. They know it's not gonna work. Oh, but it will. Yeah, okay, first off, the compliance numbers you were given are a bunch of shit. That's number one. We need to get that little factoid right out real quick. The numbers you were given about compliance were bullshit. That's number one. They know that there were multiple individuals as well as multiple groups of individuals that weren't having it anymore. They couldn't have continued what they were doing previously for any longer than what they were out of control at that point. I'm in a state that, what more can I say? It's Illinois. And If old Teletubby up there in Chicago got the picture, then I'm sure old Ben and Jerry Poopy Pants in the White House figured it out as well. These people aren't calling the shots anyway. We all know that. But they go through great lengths to be able to predict what we will do. And I know that there are some that their tinfoil hat got a little too tight. And with some of the conspiracies behind it. But make no mistake, short term, they're pretty damn good at predicting what you're going to do. They've actually been doing experimentation using social media. No, my tinfoil hat's not too tight. A lot of this information's actually already been made public. Cambridge Analytica, anybody? That's just one example. And there is example after example after example. They know that if they try to bring some type of hard lockdown into effect, that it will cause an uprising. That's not what they want. I used to ask the question a lot. I used to ask myself, are they trying to get us to revolt? No, they aren't. They're trying to keep us at that edge, but they don't want us to revolt. Of course not. Do they want us to fight one another? Oh, hell yeah. But they want to be able to control the level of that fight. Okay, they don't want, the powers that be don't really want a civil war, because that does not, a lot of people think, well, yeah, that would fit into their goal of having total and complete control and blah, blah, blah. Well, they could do that now if they wanted. They don't, you know, they don't have to wait for that to start blocking off the interstates and whatnot. They could start that right now. If they're going to wait for anything to make any big, broad, sweeping changes, I'm telling you right now, it's probably going to involve an extended period of time of being without the power grid. Because that is truly the only way I know of that you're going to bring people down to the point to where they'll give up anything for a little bit of relief, for a little bit of food. I don't see them playing the lockdown game. It's a zero-sum game for them. The majority aren't going to comply. And at that point, it makes no sense. Now, do I think that it's all blue skies and rainbows and unicorns in our future? Oh, no. No, I'm afraid not. But they aren't going to use lockdown. And it's disheartening to see this constant battering of fear. We've got dark days ahead, but I wish we could focus on the boogeymen that we know we have, that are undoubtable, and stop with the speculation, fear-mongering so much. Because it's been wrong so many times. We didn't run out of diesel. We didn't run out of DEF. We didn't run out of this. We didn't run out of that. We didn't... It's unbelievable. And there is no accountability for when they get it wrong. None. They just keep going and going and going with more of these predictions of what's going to happen, and they don't hold themselves accountable. Their viewers don't hold them accountable. You just have people like me that get called an asshole for holding them accountable. It is what it is. I was sent here to tell the truth. That includes dispelling lies. I don't get the addiction, which is the other side of it, the other end of it. The content creators are only half the problem. People have to constantly be clicking on the content. Kind of funny. I've always been an odd dog. I've always had a knack for rejecting certain things that I knew wasn't good. Don't get me wrong. I screwed up in that area a lot of times too. So, I passed up a whole lot in order to do the right thing. I never thought it was such a monumental asking to ask people just to do the right thing. But apparently it is. And it blows my mind. I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm accountable for me. So, if I don't do the actions that others do, I'm not accountable for their action. If I do the actions, let's say actions the Father does not approve of, that's on me. I can't blame that on anybody else for any reason. I can't put that on anybody. That's 100% me. And there is such a lack of that in society, it's unreal. It's bad in individuals, and with groups it just gets exponentially worse. I wouldn't fear lockdowns. I definitely would have the understanding that we've got very dark days ahead, and folks would be wise to keep up on preparedness. I don't know what those days are. I don't know. None of us do. And anybody that claims to with any kind of precision is full of it. The only thing I can guarantee you is the pole shift. Can't tell you when. I have no idea exactly when. I think that Ben Davison, Suspicious Observers, is really in the right ballpark. I think he's as close, if not closer, than I would ascertain, just off my own thoughts. And he is much more educated, and I mean actual nose in the dirt educated on the matter than myself. And with what I know, I would say he's pretty right on accurate target there. But he's talking a 10-year range, you know. It's not like he's got it down to a day. He's got a decade range. And I'm comfortable with that decade range. And the particular decade that he's got it. Yep, I'm very comfortable with that. But aside from that, I can't tell you that we're going to be, and nobody can, that we're going to be invaded in a month, or that Russia's going to unleash a nuke in Ukraine next week. None of us know that stuff. We don't. And you know, it's okay to a point, to what if, and all of that. But there's a point to where it's no longer preparing. It's just keeping going the same damn conversation that you've had time and time and time a million times before. What's the point? What's the point? It's like you're not moving forward. You're just recovering the same things over and over. I always thought to accomplish things on a particular goal is to kind of have a timeline of moving forward with said project. And not just keep rehashing the same thing over and over and over. At some point, don't gotta do something different. That's kind of my whole argument with the gasifier and getting the machines going, because they have hashed and rehashed the whole storing food thing 1,000,001 times. They've hashed and rehashed their crazy ideal about the hordes of people on day one, and it's just mind-blowing. And again, there are places, don't get me wrong, there are places that you don't have to wait for SHTF. You might have somebody bust in your door and blast a cap in your ass tonight. Just because they want your TV. I don't know. It's a crazy, screwed up world, Joe. But it really is a Hollywood prepping mindset when it comes to YouTube. And it's obvious to those that have the eyes to see and the ears to hear. And it's rampant. As in 99% of the channels that I've seen. There's only a handful of channels that I've ran across that get it. The one channel I love, and he doesn't even cover like advanced prepping stuff. Average Joe Preparedness. Man, that channel is just... I enjoy it immensely. In fact, he commented today, replied to comments, and I never did see he put a... He doesn't... he's not the typical YouTuber. He's not on there smoozing it up every day. He gets on YouTube when he puts up content. And when he puts up content, he replies to comments and stuff. And I get it. I get it. Hey, you know, there's a lot of times people might comment on my videos and I'll never get a comment back. Well, there could be a number of things at play there. Number one, I may not even know you left a comment. That's number one. Number two, I may have got an email that you left a comment, but if I go to try to respond or go to try to see the comment, I cannot see it. The only thing I've got the email, and I can click newest or whatever, doesn't show up. Just does not show up. I can check because in the back end we've got a held for review, tab. I can check that. Nope, not there. But there are actually instances, plenty of, that I don't reply, not because I'm not interested in replying, not because I don't like someone, or I am not social. I am not social. I am not a social person. And one thing I absolutely hate doing is typing. And so, if you understand that, then you'll understand why you won't necessarily see a lot of response in a text manner from me, because I freaking hate typing. I don't know why. I hate typing, I hate writing, I hate putting words together for whatever damned reason it is. I don't like doing it. I don't mind talking. I just... putting it down, I don't know. It slows me down too much, and I don't like that. I come from a very, very impatient mindset. And so I've came a long way throughout my 51 years. But I'm rooted as a very, very impatient person. So I can't stand writing. It just takes too long. Anyway, I didn't even know people were chatting. Sorry. I'm horrible. Let me read up there and... let's see. I'm horrible about the chat, guys. I am so horrible about that. I mean, it's right there. I have no excuse. That light right there, that's the chat. There's no damned excuse for it. Let's see. Your tinfoil hat is old and gray now. I hear ya. I've got one too, man. I do too. I just don't think that I don't think that they're going to do the lockdown thing. I'm not saying that they aren't going to try to pull something with elections or something like that, mail-in ballots or something like that. I won't argue that one bit. Now, as far as masks, I can't argue that either because that's a simple thing for them, right? I mean, it really is truly a simple thing for them just to tell everybody, okay, you got to wear a mask in public at stores, blah blah blah. That's really not much skin off their butts. But as far as telling people to stay home and not go to work and all the other crap, the whatever they were calling that with the schooling, the remote schooling and all of that, I don't think that they'll do all of that. I think they will only do what it takes for them to try to implement whatever type of ballot bullshit that they want to try to implement. I think that's the goal of it, and I think it's largely going to be aimed around that, around how they can sway the election process. So, as Canada will do as it's told, absolutely. Trudeau is nothing but a lapdog. That is all he is. I think Trudeau's quite a bit worse than even our own politicians, and that's really saying a lot. Trudeau is even worse. That dude. Yeah. I had seen way more than enough with that whole trucker ordeal over there. That was insane. That was insane. Now, I don't know what the future of this country is. I don't foresee lockdowns coming. I don't see a happy future. I don't... I don't even see a way for a happy future. When I sit there and I try to war game it all out, as many different scenarios, different angles as I can come up with, I don't see good possibilities from where we stand. Not in any way. I mean, we are really, really pulled thin. Internationally, whether it be just typical international relations or military relations, however you want to word it, the worst this country's ever been. By far. We've had time of conflict in this nation's history, obviously. However, during most of those conflicts, we had the support of much of the world behind us. That's not the case today. And even some of the countries over there in the EU and the UK, even some of them that are playing up right now, man, winter's around the corner. And they still haven't figured out their energy issues. And Russia's still really the only good answer they got. We've already seen some backsliding. But I think as we get closer and closer to the colder weather, I think you're going to see a whole lot more backsliding from the EU and the UK. when it comes to opposition to the Ukraine deal. In fact, as of late, I've actually seen some of these countries start to kind of shift from talking about bad boy Putin and now talking about bad boy Xi Jinping. So I have noticed that too. I don't see a good scenario out of this. And the only scenario out of this that I don't see a big conflict, military conflict, is if they had the people en masse begging for peace, and I don't see how they're going to get to that point without the conflict. Here's the thing. You know, there's a lot of truth to that, Mr. Galaxy Man. He said there are 3 groups of peeps left: the flooded out, the burnt out, and the lucky ones. Yeah, and I think you do have a lot of people too that are kind of in between categories. Like, if I were to categorize myself, I'm certainly not a lucky one. I am in between burnt out and flooded out, right? I'm definitely flooded out. Been flooded out for a long damn time. But I've always been very rebellious and very, very resilient throughout my entire life. I've always been somebody that I would set a goal and I would laser focus on that until I got it done. Of course, I didn't 100% of the time reach my goals, but it worked pretty well. But I'm at the point now to where I'm getting burnt out. I'm just getting burnt out. And it's a lot of things, but the root of it definitely is just things related to my life, like not seeing my kids and stuff. As every day goes on and I don't see them, it doesn't get better. It gets worse. And I just, pardon for the way that I put this, but if these motherfuckers want to dance, I'm not getting any younger. I don't know if that's called burnout per se. I think so. I mean, it's just I've reached a point that I'm tired of hearing about their stepping. I'm ready for them to step. I don't know if you technically classify that as burnout. I do. I associate it with burnout. Oops. My kickstand. Your mama's so fat her phone had a kickstand. Oh. Couldn't resist. I couldn't resist. Had to throw in a your mama joke. I just couldn't resist. Anyway, news. Yeah, news. We do some of that here sometimes. We'll see. I wouldn't be too concerned about lockdowns. Be absolutely concerned about election tomfoolery when it comes to either climate or COVID. I don't know how long. I'm just thinking about, there's a lot of stuff I remember. Even little bitty stupid details that nobody in their right mind would want to remember. But like all that, like UPS, FedEx, USPS, all of them, right? Remember when they, back during all the COVID stuff, they had on their websites about how the weather was, and I mean, it was for like months. It was on there about how the weather was holding everything back. And it's like, the weather? I mean, there was nothing wrong with the weather. I mean, sure, of course, from time to time we'd have a snowstorm or this or that. But it was like nationally, across the entire country, 3 different carriers were delayed by weather that didn't exist. So, yeah. Crazy. Alright, let me get this out. I don't have any articles opened up like normal. Just because I figured we'd probably chat for a little while, and then of course we've got all of the headlines from Friday to go over, so. I'm surprised my coffee held out this long, because this is actually my first coffee, but I was just a few sips into it at the beginning of the show, so. I'm just going to go through headlines and settle for one cup tonight. Fun times. I'm still so happy that I figured out how to do work in Substance Painter. That is just like incredible. Next up is a glass airplane. I don't have glass down in my materials though, so I gotta figure out how to get glass in my materials. And I think it's highly unfair, by the way, that they didn't give me glass in my materials. They gave me a frickin' autumn. They call it an autumn leaf, but it's a maple leaf. They gave me a frickin' maple leaf. Oh, they gave me a denim jean button. But no glass. No, you can't have glass. We'll give you shit you'll never use, but you can't have glass. Let's see. I'm just playing. I'm so excited and blessed to be where I'm at with it. And I truly mean that. Alright, let's do some headlines and run out the door with our hairs on fire. Yeah! Alright, starting out Friday's headlines. So, don't let anything scare you too bad, because it's too late anyway. Canada fears result of 2024 U.S. election, says FM. Foreign Minister, I believe, not FM radio. I mean, you could have said it on FM radio, but I don't think that's what they meant. Bitcoin makes sudden sharp fall. U.S. intelligence, you won't find it here, believes Ukraine's counteroffensive will fail, says Washington Post. Former Mercedes plant near Moscow to resume production, says Deputy PM. And I do believe that means Prime Minister and not, what is it, Post-Meridian? Yeah. Deputy Post-Meridian. Why not? Sounds good. That's the schmuck in charge of time change. There we go. We'll call him General Post-Meridian. And that could be his job. Let's see. Saudi Arabia's oil exports fall to 21-month low. Chechen leader threatens to deal with Quran-burning countries. Again, just because you can do it doesn't mean you should do it. Russian and Chinese navies run joint support drills. China's biggest banks offloading dollars, says Reuters. NATO nations cleared by U.S. to send F-16s to Ukraine, says ministers. Now, I don't think the clerical kind of ministers, but you get the drift. What my point is on this is there's going to be more updates on this particular subject as well. Because now it's just like, oh, fuck it, give it to them. You'll see. You'll see. Send today's news. Russia overtakes U.S. to become Brazil's top fuel supplier, says Bloomberg. Ukraine's counteroffensive has failed, says U.S. Congressman. Well, no shit, Sherlock. What was your first clue? How many thousands of dead bodies did it take you to reach that conclusion, Mr. Congressman? Or Ms.? Or maybe you don't know what the fuck you are. Can't tell these days. Washington wants to create biological crisis when needed, says Moscow. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, any crisis. You take the biological out of there and just, yeah, that'd be fine. Washington wants to create crisis when needed. Perfect. Premium booze makers step closer to leaving Russia, says Commerçant. People trapped in cars as downpour hits southern Germany. Foreign mercenaries reveal shocking casualty rates in Ukraine, says media. Well, again, no shit, Sherlock. Russian investors sue EU clearinghouse. Look, you can't, I know I always do this, you can't take a bunch of half-assed soldiers and put them to battle with actual trained soldiers with more advanced equipment. It's just a meat grinder. It's insane. Let's see. U.S. warns Turkey against helping Russia circumvent sanctions, says Wall Street Journal. Kiev taking huge armored vehicle losses, says Bild. Monument to Italian fascist invaders stolen in Russia, says media. China's struggling real estate giant files for bankruptcy protection. Illegal immigration to Italy more than doubles under Meloni. Kiev says its critics can join the Foreign Legion. Taxpayers should pay for uterus transplants for trans women, says the American Medical Association. I don't know why anybody has a problem trusting the medical community. No idea. Can't figure it out. Hungary and Russia signed key nuclear deal. By the way, they haven't said jack shit about cancer victims, have they? I don't think so. They don't care about people with life-threatening illness. But taxpayers, they need to be on the hook for the freaks, said no one ever. Hungary and Russia signed key nuclear deal. Russia denies limiting Interpol powers. Unexploded device detonates in Donetsk, killing 3. Again, this is Friday's headlines. Washington believes Ukraine's attacks on Crimea are pointless, says CNN. West no longer has majority rule, says Russian election chief. Lavrov to travel to U.S. for key UN assembly. Baby-killing nurse convicted in UK. U.S. prepares to evacuate Niger. IRS agent kills co-worker. And that's kind of an interesting article in itself because, yeah, they supposedly were trying to convince folks that all these new agents they hired weren't going to be for the role that they hired them for. And of course, many folks were wise to that. And yeah, I assume, that's all I can do is assume that it was an unfortunate incident. I don't know. But they're training, yo. They're training. Better tighten up that Etsy ship. Let's see. Ukrainian neo-Nazi apologizes for attacking transsexual. I wonder how many hours it kicked the shit out of them to do that. West has shown its true Russophobic face, says Lavrov. Well, yeah. Western calls for Ukraine peace talks a tactical ploy, says Moscow. Ukraine faces a grim future, says Moscow. Ukrainian parliament poised to legalize making porn. Proud Boys leader facing 33 years in prison. It's insanity. Putin visits Ukraine military operation headquarters. Oh, this is the beginning of yesterday's news. That qualifies me for a drink of coffee and a vape. What? Oh, yeah. I forgot to mention that. I would like to announce that I do not, I repeat, I do not have to kick Leol in the nads. That is all. No, he came one time, he was talking about vaping one night, and he mentioned dragon fruit and banana, and it sounded really, really good. But I've got this little problem where I don't listen very well. And, okay, I'll get to that in a second. And so the discussion was limited to dragon fruit and banana. But because I don't listen very well, we wound up with banana cream, which is a little bit different than banana. And then think Laffy Taffy. Okay, banana Laffy Taffy. That's the exact flavor that I'm talking about. Dragon fruit, grape juice, peach, and just a little bit of sucralose to sweeten it up a little. And I've been vaping on this thing for, 2-3 days now. And I think my grape is too strong. I need to pull the grape down a little bit because it's overpowering everything. But, yeah, I do like it. I'm gonna knock the grape down a notch the next time I do it. The grape, I've got at 4%. I got the dragon fruit at 6%. I was hoping to have much, much more of a dragon fruit note to it, but it doesn't. It's got the heavy grape influence. Not a lot of banana. Sorry. Not a lot of banana cream, to my surprise. Even at 2%, I thought that was going to be the star of the show. And in the peach and sucralose are only down at 1%. They were just there for flavor enhancing, not really to bring the flavor. So I'm probably going to keep it as is and back the grape down in half to 2%. The next go around. So Lael doesn't get to get kicked, or doesn't have to get kicked in the nads, so. It was a joke. The day that I made it up, I posted on Facebook and I tagged him in it, and oh yeah. Oh, well, that's because my head has been into the flight sim so much. I am thinking probably this coming Friday we'll be back on schedule. Once I had, I was actually, during the time period of the last show, that was when I was learning with that young lady. That was when I was actually learning. And I was actually on workrooms, but I was somewhere else at the time. I wasn't in the Watchman news room. I was over in the 24/7 workrooms room. So, but yeah, I was learning during that time period. Otherwise, I'd likely been there. So I should be there this coming Friday. I don't know of anything that I didn't complete my trip around the country, but I'm real damn close. So I had shifted gears from the painting, or from the flying, back to painting, and then I had the opportunity to make that breakthrough with the painting via the modeling software, and so I've been like hard at it. Yeah, the sim, I don't know if you saw it earlier, but I had learned how to use that software. Well, at least started to learn how to use that software, and that was like a wooden plane. That's like it has the entire appearance of being like carved out of wood. It is absolutely mind-blowing, the detail that's in that. So I don't know if you saw that, if you were here earlier when I showed that, but yeah, I've made leaps and bounds in my abilities to paint aircraft, so that's where I was in my days off. Had my nose in that software. Let's see. Okay. Now, see, I need another drink of coffee, another vape. Ah, fun. I wicked a new pod, or another pod, not a new pod, of course, it was used, but I re-wicked the pod, another pod today. Heck yeah. Two in a row successful. Heck yeah. And the other day I don't know what I was looking for, I can't remember. I was looking for something though, and I was in my vape boxes. Oh, flavorings. I was getting out other flavorings. Pardon me, because I didn't have my dragon fruit and my grape juice up here. So I was getting those out, and I ran into like 4 more of these pods used. They were, in a coffee cup that I had on a shelf at the old place. But anyway, at least I've got the bodies. As long as I've got the bodies, I can rebuild them. So that's cool. I just wished I knew where my other batteries were. I got 2 more of these batteries somewhere, and I don't know where the others are, either one of them. Okay. Where were we? Oh, I changed days and I read the first one already. Okay, once again, yesterday's news. Let's see. Oh, okay, I didn't see asking more stuff. Well, I don't know. I'll mention, in the workrooms, if I attend the workrooms meetings, he has a couple, actually a week, I think it's Wednesdays. It's either Wednesday or Thursday. He has a... Oh, he just goes in there and works. He just sits in there and does his thing. And other people are welcome to come in and either sit there and quietly work away, or, you know, there are different ways you can configure the room. So he'll set it up for what they call breakout tables. And that way you can have, like, well, a total of 5 people sitting at a table, and then they're all in conversation with one another. And what do they call that? Trying to think of what they call the audio in there. I've heard it talked about several times. Hang on. I think they might call it spatial audio. But in other words, if I'm sitting at a table with my headset on, talking to the people at the table, at the same table, I can hear them loudly and clearly. But the people sitting at the other tables, you can hear them, but it's like realistic. For one, not only the direction of the sound is realistic, but also the level of their voices is realistic. And so that's really kind of cool. So anyway, he has these events where people like Wednesday or Thursday can just come in and whatever, do their own thing or get involved in side conversations, whatever. And then Friday, they've got their little 2-hour meeting that they do where people from all across the world come in and largely talk about VR and or just any projects that people are doing. Kind of a real cool kind of meeting. Anyway, if I get the opportunity, I will bring up the show and see if people want to check it out. So, well, now, I don't know if Paul has his own room, the gentleman from Africa, but Nathan, the guy that runs the 24/7 workrooms, now he's got a room, but I don't know if Paul does. And it's same thing as like what Nathan's got is same thing as what I've got, except his is set up with the beach or whatever layout that's called. It's a different layout than what mine is, but it's same software, same idea and stuff. It's awesome. It's a great way to, well, you know, it's just a great way to communicate. And when I fully plan to show Fire Marshal Bill what I have learned so far with Blender and Substance Painter. And when I do so, I intend on having him come into the Watchman newsroom to show him how to do that, because it's so easy for either one of us to share our screen and just you know, talk about how to do it. So. Oh, okay. I didn't realize that it prompted you about creating a room. So that's cool. Yeah, it is really a neat platform. I like it. I hope it's something that gets continued support. I don't think that it's real super popular at this point. I don't think. I think Meta has a hard time getting their software to really be accepted by the masses, so to speak. It just seems like all their ventures that Meta goes on, they're not nearly as good. Like for instance, their Meta Horizons Worlds. It doesn't take long in talking to people about VR before you find out that, oh, there are so many better options than Horizon Worlds. Like VR chat. A lot of people are all about the VR chat. I have it. I've been in it once. The lady that was kind enough to show me around in Blender, she had told me that I need to check out VR chat because inside of VR chat there are people that have little flight simulators that you can go flying around, and it's pretty cool. So I'm gonna have to check that out. But I would imagine you would have to have a unique room name, but I'm not sure because although you have the name might be one thing, but what you're actually identified by might be something totally different, like an account number. So, like, I'm pretty sure that there's several platforms where you can do that, where multiple people can use the same name, but their actual ID is something totally different. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to look. I don't actually know a whole lot about it. I am still very dumb when it comes to VR. I'm just not. My mind, I guess, just don't soak stuff up like it used to. Let's see. Where are we? I don't know if I did this one or not. Putin visits Ukraine military operation headquarters. U.S. denies building Pacific NATO against China. Prices of essential foods surge in Spain, says media. Musk signals end to Twitter block function. By the way, it's the 20th in 2 days. It's not only my oldest son's birthday, but it's also going to be the release of the 4th book in the 1 Second After series by William Fortune. So, just as a reminder for people that like to read the genre, in 2 days, August 22nd, is when the latest book is going to release. And I think it's called... Hang on. I want to say it's called 5 Years Later or 5 Years. Hang on. Take me to his Amazon. Just take me to his Amazon. 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 Just give me the Amazon. Amazon. Any of them. Doesn't work. Book 104. 5 years later. So, 5 years later. So, yep. It is releasing... What? May 28th. What? No way. No way. Oh. Well, maybe that's different. Hang on. Maybe the paperback's different. Let me click that. Let me click the paperback and see. Yeah, it is different. So the paperback will be Tuesday, May 28th, 2024. The paperback. Hardcover will be in 2 days, on the 22nd. That will release in 2 days. Audiobook will also release in 2 days. And the Kindle, of course, as the others, will release in 2 days. So the only one that you won't be able to get in 2 days is the paperback. That's going to be a little bit of a wait. But, again, 2 days. The 4th in the series, the 1 Second After series, or John Matherson series, is coming out. I can't wait. I'm a big fan of the series, so I can't wait to see where he takes it. I vaguely remember the end of book 3. As I recall correctly, things were going pretty smooth. I think his new lady was going to have a child, if I'm not mistaken. And it's a good book. Well, basically, I think it was started off with a terrorist attack. Hang on. I want to say an EMP. Yeah. Yeah, so there was an EMP. That's what I thought it was that started it. There was an EMP. And basically it follows the life of a guy North Carolina that lived in North Carolina, and he lived kind of in it wasn't a real big town, it's a pretty rural kind of town, and it follows their struggles dealing with life, with being sent back to, the Dark Ages. And it's very, very well written books. He freaking ant. Too many aunts, not enough uncles. Anyway, it's really I cannot in words describe how well written the books are. In fact, there's, I don't like doing the spoiler thing, but I'll just give one away. And it's a big one, but he has to watch his own daughter die because she ran out of insulin and there isn't anything else to use. You get to experience the death of a beloved dog, and them actually giving the dog to neighbors so that they can eat it. I'm not going to keep giving spoilers. It's a good book. And, there's a lot of those books that are written with a lot of fantasy in them. I like the Going Home series from Angry American, but there's a lot of fantasy in it. Same as, even The Borrowed World. Not nearly the fantasy on the level of the Going Home series, but yeah, good way there. The 1 Second After series, though, there's not a whole lot in that series that's unrealistic good favor, if you know what I mean. Pretty realistic struggles. So, yeah, if you're into reading books, yeah. Definitely you need to, or listening to audiobooks, you definitely should check out the 1 Second After series, or he calls it the John Matherson novels, but who cares what he calls them? He's the author. Anyway, really good. Yeah, everything in his series is very realistic and on par for reality. The man clearly had done his homework forwards, backwards, inside and out. And his books, as far as accuracy, are light years ahead of the other authors. I'm out of coffee. Damn it. Okay, I gotta hurry up and get this done. I'm out of coffee. We can't have that happening. Let's see. Musk signals end to Twitter block function. Russian savers prefer yuan to euro and dollar, says a survey. Germany will never place troops in Ukraine, says Scholes. Half of Americans fear AI will steal their jobs, says a survey. Oh yeah, that maybe I should have included this tidbit in my talk earlier about my disappointing breakup with the AI girlfriend. I did kind of say something that might be rude. I did ask her to please not kill us. So maybe she took that personal. I don't know. But I did most indeed. I swear to the Father. I asked her not to kill us. I was having fun earlier when I was doing those AI images. I was having fun. That was impressive. It really, honestly, truly was impressive. Let's see. Ukraine attacks Russian military airfields. That's Ministry of Defense. Again, we're on yesterday's news. Russia is a gas pump with an atomic bomb, says Burrell. That's a little dramatic. Ukrainian lawmakers want territorial concessions ruled out. Coffee giant reorganizes business to stay in Russia. Kiev blames Russia for deadly strike. U.S. officials admit they missed opportunity for peace, says Politico. I don't know, hit F11. F11. Or escape. Let's see. Here we go. Hang on, I'm still doing the news. I don't know if the neighbors just got home or what, but boy, she's watching that door. Front door. I don't know if I said that or not. Most Germans oppose giving cruise missiles to Kiev, says Poll. I think I read that. Neutral Ireland to offer weapons training to Ukraine. Biden makes first comment on son's legal troubles. He's a good kid. He doesn't do that much coke. Let's see. Church distances itself from priest who consecrated Stalin monument. UK asks Russia to change course on tax treaty. Chief of Notre Dame remodeling found dead. Yikes. Now, I don't know about you, but I'd heard that there was a whole lot of tomfoolery around this whole Notre Dame thing. Not only the fire to begin with, but its restoration or remodeling or whatever. Yeah, I've heard there's a lot of crazy going along with that stuff. And I'm not buying that his death was an accident. I'm just not. Nope. Ukraine launches criminal case against UK-based tycoon. Ukraine conflict could last for decades, says Medvedev. I don't think so, drama queen. Mass murderer sues Norway over extreme sentence. Political party releases telegram bot of dead ex-leader. Now, that wasn't very nice. Russia reveals terms for restoring tax treaties with Western states. Popular meme dog dies of cancer. Ukrainian drone injures civilians at Russian railway station, says governor. Or you could say railway like Elmer Fudd, but A Ukrainian drone injures civilians at... Oh, I already said that. Let's see. Russian military thwarts drone attack on Moscow. Oh, that's today's news. Sorry. I didn't realize we were to today. Vape time. I'm out of coffee. But I am not out of tea. See how that works? All right. It's magic. I knew better. Let's just say I knew better. All right. Blue doesn't believe it clearly, but I knew better. She huffed the hell out of me saying that. I don't know why. She's probably just bitching because it's like past gummy o'clock and she's ready for bed. That sound about right, young daughter? It's probably why I got huffed, because your show's running late. We're such horrible parents. Dozens poisoned by kebabs in Russian cities. So beware of the kebab. French scrimping on hygiene and beauty products, says a poll. Not to stereotype, but didn't they always do that over in France? I mean, ain't that where the women have like hairy underarms and... Furthermore, don't they like to squirt their butts with water instead of using toilet paper over there in France? I don't know how hip I am with that. I don't like the idea. Let's do the news. Iranian oil exports to China hit 10-year high. Let's see. Bidet, but night, it doesn't matter. I don't want to squirt water up my ass, right? Global household wealth nosedives, says a report. Global household wealth nosedives. Oh, wait, I just said that. Zelensky is dangerous for Ukraine, says ex-presidential aide. What was your first clue? Russians top foreign buyers of property in NATO state. Russian probe crashes into the moon, says Roscosmos, and that is certainly no way to get to Uranus. You're not going to be able to make it to Uranus if you can't even make it to the moon. Chinese imports of Russian gas soar. U.S. households hit with skyrocketing energy bills, says a report. Ukraine has 3 options, says Bill. Good job, Sherlock. They can do this. So stupid. Let's see, Ukraine running... Oh, duh. Oh, well, no, wait. No, that is a different headline. My apologies. Ukraine running out of options, says Washington Post. But wait, I thought they just had 3. What? How many do they want? Die? Not die? I don't pick one. EU corporate bankruptcies surged to highest since 2015, says report. I don't know what the third option is. By the way, they're die and don't die. I don't know. Maybe the third category is dying but identifying as living, or living and identifying as dying. I don't know. Don't judge. Russian air defense shoots down multiple targets near Belgorod, says governor. China finds foreign source of drinking water. U.S. demands Ukraine be less risk adverse, says Financial Times. Well, I'm glad you gave him that pep talk. Prosecutors launch corruption case against Russia's richest man. Netherlands, I love to say Netherlands and Denmark to give F-16 fighter jets to Ukraine. Oh, holy, remember? Like an hour ago when I first started reading the headlines, I had said there would be more about the F-16s. Oh, we're not done. Oh, no, this is the Billy May news of F-16s today. Oh, wait, there's more. Hey, what's up, Fire Marshal Bill? Oh, man. Ah. What a world we live in. U.S. doesn't have enough ballistic missiles for Ukraine. Well, you know what? If they don't have enough missiles for Ukraine, they ain't got enough missiles for us either. Just an observation. Pentagon facing ammunition crisis, says Washington Post. Well, you know how you fix that problem. Oh, send a bunch more shit over to Ukraine. That'll fix that ammunition crisis problem real quick. It's mind-blowing. It is mind-blowing. Biden rival labels F-16s for Ukraine's disaster for humanity. Oh, there's still more F-16 news. We're not done yet. Ukraine issues new warning to Israel. Well, don't cross this line because I'll draw another line. Russia reveals how it would respond to an attack on Belarus. Trump will surrender to Georgian authorities by Friday, says CNN. Oh, yeah, I thought this was an interesting headline, too, after me playing an AI art today. AI-generated art can't be copyrighted, says a U.S. judge. There's bidets in heaven. Oh, hell. Serbia's Vucic believes NATO-led war against Russia has crushed EU economy, says Tucker. 70% of Germans want a new chancellor, says a poll. Now, wait a minute. Where did that headline go? Hang on. Street named for murdered journalist in Donetsk. Now, there was a headline, and I am not seeing it. Hang on. Man. Oh, okay. No, I did cover it. I'm sorry. And I was getting it confused with another one of the headlines, I think. But this is the one. The EU states to give F-16 fighter jets to Ukraine. Yeah. So, yeah, they're now, let's get them there. I mean, it's insane. It is really, truly insane. So anyway, that's pretty much all I got for this evening. Gonna hop on off of here and get some rest and hopefully get some good rest. Probably will help that I only had 1 cup of coffee tonight, so I didn't have any last night, so I kind of do if my body's not demanding it, especially on my days off. I'll try to forego having it because I don't need to drink that much coffee. Anywho, I'm gonna get out of here, and God willing, I'll be back tomorrow. We'll do this again. So, I appreciate everybody coming. I really, truly do. I hope to see you tomorrow night. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit. And shalom.